learning Kurdish language. Now let's move to verbs. Be careful, verbs in Kurdish is so different from verbs in English. And in every language around the world, verbs are one of the most important part of building the language. Sometimes just by using one verb in Kurdish language and in English language, we can make a sentence, like imperative sentence. For example, eat, go. In Kurdish it's the same. Bro, bro. Good. Verbs in English, if we translate it to Kurdish, we can use kar, we can use firman. Kar and firman. Good. Pay attention to this big difference between Kurdish verb and English verb. Why? Have a look at here. In English language, we have two main styles of verb. The first one is gerund. The second one is infinitive. Infinitive, it means when we use to plus base of the verb. In English language, if you have a look at this one, gerund is the noun form of the verb. When we use gerund, like this, playing is the noun form. And when we say play is the base of the form. Be careful, base it in Kurdish, if we translate to Kurdish, we say chawag. But the process of saying chawag and making chawag in Kurdish language is different from English language. Have a look at here. In Kurdish language, infinitive, which is to base, is the noun form. Be careful. For example, look at here. Play, it means someone wants to play, okay? Still not past. But if we use this in Kurdish, play, by removing noon, which is the last n from the infinitive verb in Kurdish, we say yari kirt. Yari kirt, it's related to the past. It doesn't relate to the base form. Just for example, when we delete this ing, which is the noun form, for example, playing, right now, if we translate it to Kurdish, it becomes yari kirdin. Playing, yari kirdin. While in English, this one is gerund form. This one is gerund. Gerund form. Good. If we translate to Kurdish, we say yari kirdin. But yari kirdin in Kurdish is chawag, is base in Kurdish. Be careful. Have a look at here. Chawag, which is the Kurdish word for base. Right now, when we translate playing, which is the gerund form in English, to Kurdish, it becomes chawag in Kurdish. But when we say the base form in English, be careful, when we translate it to Kurdish, it becomes the trunk of the verb. In Kurdish language, we have the trunk of the verb. How we get the trunk of the verb? By removing this n, the last noon, ne, at the end. When we remove it, it becomes trunk. Trunk of the verb is the base and the noun form of Kurdish word after removing n at the end of the verb. Be careful of this difference. For example, let me give you one more example. In English, we say washing. Washing means someone washed something. That is a noun form. Good? When we change to Kurdish, we have to say shiten. Shiten. Good? Washing. Shiten. Here we call this chawag. If we translate this word to Kurdish, it becomes base. while this is not base in English. This is the gerund form. Be careful, please, of this difference. After that, let me tell you the structure of verb in Kurdish language. Like the others, we have simple, which is sada, and compound verbs, which is lekdraw. I wrote the phonetic transcription many times for sada and lekdraw. Good. But according to the action that we have in the Kurdish verb, we have, like English, intransitive verb and transitive verbs. Good. For saying transitive in Kurdish, we say tepar, tepar. But in Kurdish, for saying intransitive, we say tenapar. We use this na for making negative. In English, we use this prefix, but in Kurdish, we use this infix. In English, we have prefix and suffixes, but in Kurdish also we have infixes for example, making negative. Good. Have a look at this one. For those verbs which is tepar, transitive, we must have object. Okay? But for those verbs which is intransitive, we do not have any object. Good. Objects in English and in Kurdish also we have difference between them. Just have a look. In English, we have two objects. One of them is direct object and the other one is indirect object. But in Kurdish is not the same. How? For direct object, we can use just one object. We have just one. But the other one, it's become complement. And we do not have any name for it like object. We do not say that is the second object. No. It changes to tawawkeri bayarida. One object and one tawawkeri bayarida. In Kurdish we have this style. Let me clarify on this example. Okay, in English I can say I sent him a letter or I sent a letter to him. Good. I is the subject, send is the verb, and him a letter, both are object. But in Kurdish is not the same. We do not have two objects. How? For example, this light green is men. I, if we translate it, is men. Good. Then send is the verb. Here is the verb in Kurdish because the position and the place for subject, verb, and complement, some of them are changed. Good. Send is here. We say that that is an article for unknowning, which is the indefinite article. Is here. Yak. We talked about before. Aleta is nama. To him bo'o. When we come to here, till here, nama is object, the first object and the last object in Kurdish. But for saying to him, that I mark it here, this one in Kurdish is not object, it is tawawkeri barida. I'll show you in phonetic transcription. Here, good. Ta, wow, tawaw, ka, ri, ba, ya, ri, da. Good. The second object in Kurdish, because it comes after bo, which is two in English, if we have anything after that, it becomes tawkari barida. Okay? Pay attention to this one, please. Because in Kurdish, we do not have two objects like English. The second one, which comes after bo or la, or ba, it becomes تاوكري باردة. Another point to talk about is here, active and passive. Kurdish language, like every language around the world, has active and passive. For saying active in Kurdish, we say بكر diyar. بكر diyar. It means that the subject is clear and shown, and we know what is the subject. بكر diyar. The subject is shown. But for passive, we say بكر nadiyar. Nadiyar. It means that we do not know what is the doer and who is the doer of the sentence. بكر nadiyar, the subject is not shown. Good. According to the active and passive, we know that in English we have 12 common tenses. But it's not like Kurdish language. Please pay attention to this point. It's so important. Why? Because in English we have 12 tenses. According to the time we have past, present, future. According to the types we have simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. But in Kurdish it's not like the same. And it's not the same. How and why? Just have a look at here. In Kurdish language we have three main tenses. The first one is past tenses. Okay, the first one is past tense. The second one is present and future together are just one package. Be careful. The last one is imperative. We know that in English language, according to the sentence, we have some different style. For example, we have exclamation sentence, we have imperative, we have declarative, and we have imperative. But here, no, imperative is just one part of the tenses, okay? Past tenses contains of four types, but they are not like English language. They are not past, continuous, past, simple, no. We have different name for them. But I translated the Kurdish word to English in order to know how we divided this. For example, past tenses, the first one is past near. Because in Kurdish we have raberdui nizik, near. It means something happened recently, near now. The second one is past long. In Kurdish we say raberdui dur, long time ago. This third one is past continue. This one is like English, past continue. We have it in English. The last one is past imaginary. Past imaginary. Something happened in past, but it's imaginary. Nobody can change it. And also is like the third conditional. We have it in English. Good. But how we make this process? When we want to make past tense near, I mean past near, we have to bring the trunk of the verb by removing n of the Kurdish base. For example, when we have a base in English, we have to remove n. At the end, it becomes trunk of the verb. After that, for making past near, we have to add wa to the trunk. Trunk plus wa. For making past long, we have to add bu to the trunk. It means that trunk plus bu. I'll give you example later. For making past continue, we have to bring the trunk of the verb. We have to add da before the trunk. Da before the trunk. These two at the end of the trunk, but da before the trunk to become past continue. And for making past imaginary, which something will not happen, never ever, good, we have to add b at the beginning of the trunk, and then we have to add aya at the end of the trunk. Good? Then, I'll give you example for them. Then, present and also future together is one package. How we make it? We have to bring a root of the verb. In Kurdish language, we have a root. We have some process for making the root of the verb. God willing, we'll discuss it later. But when we bring the root of the verb, we have to add a or da at the beginning of the root, and at the end we have to add a pronoun. This direction is for English, but when we write in Kurdish from this side, first time we have to add a or da is here, and then we put the root of the base of the verb, and after that we have to add a pronoun, which is je now, because in Kurdish we have to do it in this side. Okay, the last one, which is imperative. For making imperative, again we have to bring the root of the verb, but just we add b at the beginning of the root. This is English direction that I write here, but in this side in Kurdish we have to add b before the root of the verb. Okay, let's move to examples. Here is just one example. Have a look. Khwarden in Kurdish, when we translate it to English language, we have both food and eating. Okay, but have a look at here. Eating is the gerund form of English, but when we change it to the Kurdish meaning, it becomes khwarden. Khwarden is base in Kurdish. We say that for making past tenses, we need the trunk of the verb. How we make the trunk of the verb? By removing n at the end. Let me do it in English in order to know how. We say kh, wa, re, del. Till now is the base form of khwarden in Kurdish. We say that for making trunk we have to remove it. Right now we have khwart. This is the trunk of the verb. For making what? For making past near, we say that we have to add wa. We have to add wa. Wa. Good? Right now this is khwardua is here. Khward in Kurdish, and we add wa at the end. Khwardua is past near. Then, for making past long, khwardebu, long time ago, we have to add just bu. Bu. It becomes khwardebu. But we say that we have to add da before the trunk of the verb. Right now, we have to say da. This is da, and then we have to write down khwart. The khwart. Past continue. The khwart. Here is da, khwart is past continue. The last one, which we say that that's imaginary, okay, bkhwardba. Again, we have to bring khward, which is the trunk of the verb, and then we have to add b before it, and ba at the end. Bkhwardba. Bkhwardba. When we write this in Kurdish, have a look at here. Khward is the trunk of the verb. We add b at the beginning of the trunk, and then we have to add ba at the end. Bkhwardba. Right now, this one is past near. Ra berdui nazik. Ra berdui dur. Ra berdui berdawam. Ra berdui danani. Okay, this is the process of making past. with all four types. After that, let's make present and future. Let me clean this part. Let me tell you how to make the second one, present and future together. Good. For example, if we bring washing in English. Washing, when we change this to Kurdish meaning, we say shitten. Shitten. Okay? Right now, for getting the root, we have a process we can talk about later because it's somehow hard. We have to say b, sho, rin, or bshon together. We have to remove this. Okay. Right now, sho or shor, both are correct, is the root of it. We say that we have to add a or da, like here, da or a. And also we have to add just one pronoun. For example, da shorim or da shom, a shorim or a shom are the same. This one is present tense in Kurdish language. Da shorim, yeah, da shom, the same. Good? That is for making present and future. We said that we need the root of the verb. For making the root of the verb, if we want to get the root of the verb, we have to put it on the imperative style to say that do it like this, bishor, and then we have to remove b with n. The part that remains is the root of the verb. And then for making present and future, we have to add da or a at the beginning and then m at the end. Okay? For the third one, how to make it imperative tense in Kurdish language. Again, we have to bring the root and then we have to add b at the beginning of the word. And after that, if we want to change it to the different people, we have to use different pronouns. Good? For example, when here we have khwarden that we talked about there. Khwarden. We need to get the root of it. How we make it, we have to say bkhon. Bkhon is like imperative. We have to change and we have to remove this one. The root that stays kho. Good. Kho is the root of it. Kho. Good. Right now, I have to add b here, bkho. That's for you. You eat it. And if I say that all of you eat it, bkhone. Good. Till here, we make it imperative. And then we can add the pronoun at the end. But adding b at the beginning of the root of the verb, it becomes imperative one. Let me do it in English. Good. Khwarden, like that. Khwarden. We say that the root of it is just kho. Good. This kho. Good. Right now, I want to make it imperative. How? By adding just b. Bkho, that's for you. Eat it. Good. If I say to all of you to eat it, bkhon. Bkhon. Good. That is for imperative tense. Good. And after that, if we change the verbs to the negative, okay? We have some different style. It's not like English really, okay? How? For imperative statements that we talked about, we have to change just b to ma. At that time, directly we can get the negative form of imperative style. How? For example, we said bkho. We talked about it. Bkho. Bkho, we said that. That's for imperative style. Now we want to change it to makho. Don't eat it. Okay, we say macho just by changing to b to ma. Macho. We didn't change the root of the verb, just we change b to ma. Macho. But for the others that we talked about, we have past and present and future, that present and future together is just one package. We have just to add na or na. Just we add in this. Na and na is like not in English. Good? We have to add them. For example, khwardua, na khwardua. How we do that? Khwardua. Khwardua. Okay, na khwardua. Just we add na here, it becomes negative. Na khwardua. This one is na. And this one is na. Good. We use these two in different position. For example, dashwat, nashwat. Dakhwat, nakhwat. For dashwat, we use nashwat. Okay? That is making the process of negative. And the last one, we will tell you example later about all of them. Good? And the last one that we have it according to the verbs is adverb. Adverb is somehow completing the verb. Good. Adverbs in English, when we translate it to Kurdish language, we can say awal kar by this awal kar, by this pronunciation, and also we can say hawal kar. Hawal, awal are both the same. We can use both. We have four main types of it. Good. The first one is time. Adverbs of time. Good. When we talk about adverbs of time, we say cat. Time is equal to cat. We have place. In Kurdish we say shwen. Shwen. Toneti, it means quality. It means toneti, and quantity is chandiyeti. Let me give you some example. For time, adverbs of time, in Kurdish we say awal kari kati. Awal kari kati, hawal kari kati, both are correct. In English language we have tomorrow. In Kurdish language we say bayani or sbeine. Both are the same. Bayani. For place, in Kurdish we say shwen. For example, your right, your left, in front of you. For right, which is a place, we say rast. Rast. Right now we have to add this to re in order to become a re. Rast. Good. And for toneti, quality of doing something, toneti. For example, fastly, bakhirai. In Kurdish we say bakhirai. Bakhirai. Here, kh, we have kh. In English language, we do not have kh. We have to pronounce kh. Bakhirai. And also at the end, we have two yi. One of them is consonant and one of them is vowel. Good. The last one, which is quantity. In Kurdish language, we say chandiyeti. Chandiyeti. We have a lot in English. In Kurdish, we say zor. A lot. Good. How we pronounce it? Like here. Zor. Good. Let me give you some more example for all of them. Look at this example. Last year, I played for YZ team. Good. Right now, let's translate to Kurdish language. Last year is Sali Rabirdu. Good. I is equal to me. Men. Played Yarim Kirdua together because it's compound. For Bo, YZ is YZ, team is teep. Here. Good. Sali Rabirdu here last year is the time. Adverbs of time. Sali Rabirdu. That's adverbs of time. Good. This is just an active sentence. Why? Because we have subject. Good. Which is min. Is equal to this. Okay, I, it means min. How we pronounce min? Min. That's the sound of min. Yarim kirdibu. Yarim kirdibu. Yari kirdibu. Have a look at here. This is past long. Raberdui dur. Why? Because it's past here. Long time ago. In Kurdish we say the tense is raber dui dur. How? Dur is bu. Good. Dur. Raber du, it's for the past time. Good. I played for YZ team. Bo. Tip. I told you after bo, ba, la. If we have anything, it becomes tawakari bayarida. It is not an object here. Okay, after bo, ba, la in Kurdish language, when we have anything, it becomes tawakari bayarida. The sentence is active. The verb is past long. And also we have adverbs of time. Also we have a name, team. YZ team, that's a noun. YZ is a noun for just a special team. Okay, and also in the next lectures, God willing, we will go on, we will discuss the other parts of speech, and we'll give you more example for clarifying everything. Be with us. Goodbye.